Good evening. Thank you for joining us for a regular scheduled council meeting on Tuesday, December 16th, 2025. It's 7 p.m. Ms. Clerk, if you'll call the roll, please.
Charlie Davidson,
Here.
George Glover,
Here.
Linda Westhafer,
Here.
Charles Swanky,
Here.
Terry Osborne,
Here.
Troy Hill,
Here.
Brandy Bailey, Jim Schrader.
Here.
Mr. Mayor, you have a quorum.
Thank you. And Councilwoman Bailey notified me in advance that she would not be here tonight due to a work conflict. Next, we'll call the meeting to order, and invocation will be by Pastor Bill Coons, and I will lead the pledge, if you'll please stand.
Well, Merry Christmas. Dear Heavenly Father, we come before you this evening. Father, we lift this meeting before you, that the council members will do the work for the city of Park City, what is good for the city of Park City, and what is right. Father, I ask your blessings upon each member that are taking of their time to serve for the public good. Bless the mayor. Bless them in this Christmas season. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. You may be seated. Okay, first up, we have approval of the agenda. Jim.
We approve the agenda.
What you're talking
Think-
about?
Charles.
Yeah. On the agenda before we vote, I'd like to strike 5 and 6.
4 and 5.
4 and 5, leaving 4A and 5A though.
Okay. Did you want to add that to your motion?
Yeah,
or
I
withdraw?
will modify the motion to approve it with those changes.
Removing items 4 and 5 under new business or old business?
Removing 4 and 5 and adding
Or, I'm sorry.
4A.
4A. I got
4A
that right?
and 5A.
5A.
Under new business.
How about I withdraw, or should I just withdraw and let Charles make it?
Okay. Go ahead, Charles.
Okay. I'd like to approve the agenda with the exception of 4 and 5, but leaving 4A and 5A
Under new business.
under new business, yeah.
Okay. Troy.
I'll second.
Okay. Motion by Charles, seconded by Troy to approve the agenda as presented with the addition or removal of item 4 and 5 under new business. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Awards and presentations tonight? We have none. Public forum, we have Mr. Johnny Stevens is signed up for public forum. And if you want to come forward to the podium there. I'm just going to read this to you. Public forum is to allow the public to comment on any subject relevant to city government, introduction or endorsement of candidates or public office, or degrading, defamatory comments concerning a person, business, or organization are not allowed. Public forum is limited to 5 minutes. If you would introduce yourself, you may begin. Thank you for coming.
Thank you. My name is Johnny Stevens. I'm a resident of Wichita. I'm the owner of the Coliseum and the Pavilion property here in Park City. I'm here to talk about the water tower that's on the Coliseum property. We understand the water tower has been decommissioned, and we'd like to have the water tower to paint WSU and NIAR on the water tower, their name. So that's why we're here. And I have 2 representatives from WSU here tonight also.
Okay. All right. Is that, I think you probably want to submit a proposal to the city? Is that what you're asking to do? I'm sorry, I'm not.
Yeah, we've had discussions for about a year with Sean
Okay.
about the water tower. And the one thing that has gone back and forth is whether he would sell the tower, which we don't have a problem if you want to take the tower down and you got somebody that wants to buy it. But what we don't want is for Park City to put a different name on the water tower other than WSU or NIAR.
Okay.
It it'll take about $70,000 to paint the tower,
How much?
and
How much did you say? I'm sorry.
70,000. So it's quite a bit of outlay of money to paint the tower. And then we have to light the tower too. So we really don't want to pay anything for the tower other than we would take it over.
Okay.
So that's our proposal.
Can you send something to us in writing? That would,
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
sure.
I think that would be fantastic if you could just send us something in writing. I think
Okay,
with it being something that's city or government property, I think it's
Sure.
best to have a formal proposal.
all right. I'd be glad to.
Okay, very good.
All right,
Thank
thank
you.
you.
All right, nobody else has signed up for public forum tonight. Staff reports?
None, sir.
Thank you. Next, we have the consent agenda. Charlie?
I make a motion, we approve the consent agenda.
Second.
I have a motion by Charlie to approve the consent agenda, seconded by Terry. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Next, we have old business, item 1. Hold a public hearing and consider approval of the 2025 amended events fund budget.
Good evening. Staff has projected expenditures through the end of this year and recommends amending the events fund budget from $55,228 to $70,630. This fund is projected to exceed budget by $15,400 due to 2 fireworks shows being expensed in 2025. The 2025 fireworks show was budgeted and expensed in 2025 as planned and as we've typically done. However, in order to obtain the best pricing for the 2027, and 2028 fireworks shows, Council approved a new 3-year contract in 2025. As long as there's a non-appropriation clause in a contract, which the new 3-year contract does have, we're required to encumber only the first year Council approves the contract. The first year of 2026 was therefore also expensed in 2025, causing our expenditures to exceed the amount that was originally budgeted. We'll need to hold a public hearing, followed by adoption in order to amend this budget. The notice of hearing was published in the Ark Valley News on November 27th of this year. Also, if you would please, before you leave tonight, stop at Marlo's desk and sign the amendment form. Glad to answer any questions.
See none, I'll open the public hearing at 7:09. Anybody in the public, in the gallery that would like to speak on this item? Council, any comments? I would ask, I guess, is this basically, on the fireworks stuff, is that basically like a pass-through fund, isn't it? I mean, don't we get reimbursed from private donors on the fireworks, or we do?
Yes, but you still have the expenditure there.
Yep.
So you got the revenue, but you still have got a higher expenditure.
Yeah, I got you, okay. Just for the public that's watching or
Yes.
wondered that. Okay, anybody present that would like to come forward? Go Going once, going twice. All right, we'll close the public hearing at 7:10. Okay, council, do I have a motion? Jim?
Move to approve the adoption of the amended budget for the event fund in the amount of $70,630.
Thank you, Troy.
Second.
Any further discussion on this item from council? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes 7-0.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Next, we have special recognition for Councilmember Glover. Last night.
Last night.
All right, George was elected to the council in 2013 and has served the city in Ward 2 ever since. So for your years of service from 2013 to 2025, we thank you for that, and we're presenting you with this certificate of appreciation. George, thank you so much for your service to this community.
I'd like to say I give my Lord and Savior all the praise and honor for this. I'd like to thank all the people that supported me throughout these years. Also, the fact we see the progress in Park City. The things that I saw in 2013 and what I'm seeing now are positive changes. So Park City looks good moving forward in 2026. I'm adhering to a higher power now, so that's why, one of the reasons why I'm coming off the council, but we have a new council member that I think is appropriate to proceed with the mission of Park City, which is to serve people. One of the things I was asked when I started the council 2013 is what my agenda was. One of the first things as I stepped onto the podium, I said, agenda? He says, I don't really have an agenda. I said, I guess it's the people's agenda. To serve others and to love others and be part of the community and let people know that you care about them, you care about who they are and what they mean to Park City. And it's like God would say, he came not to be served, but to serve others. So I came serving others and also just to serve the community. So I thank God for all that. And so, like I said, I'm moving on to another chapter in my life, and I thank everybody for supporting me. Thank you.
I would entertain a motion to take a 5-minute or 15-minute recess, where we'll do a quick council photo with the group before George parts and leaves us hanging. So,
I'll still be around. By the way, I'll still do the fishing derby and some other things. So I'm leaving, but I'm not leaving.
well, George, thank you for your service. We've always known since you were elected that you've been a strong advocate of people of the ward, but also people of Park City. So we thank you that and look forward to your continued service and park stuff. And we know you've always been dedicated to the parks and events committee and pretty much
Way
everything.
back.
Yeah, so thank you for all you've done for the city. I can assure you that the community is a better place. So thank you.
Thank you.
Troy,
Motion to recess for 15 minutes.
thank you. And Terry.
Second.
Motion by Troy, seconded by Terry to take a 15-minute recess. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? George, did you oppose?
No.
Motion passes 7-0. It is 7:14, so we'll be back at 7:29. Okay, it's 7:29. We're back in session. Next item under new business is swearing in of elected officials. All right, I'll be brave. Do I come down there, I guess? Yes.
George, congrats.
I think he wants you to stand here. Because he wants me to speak into this mic.
So that we can hear you.
Okay, please raise your right hand. I do solemnly swear
I do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Kansas,
of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Kansas,
and faithfully to the best of my ability
and faithfully, to the best of my ability,
discharge the duties of mayor,
discharge the duties of mayor,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Okay.
We gotta go down there too.
I do solemnly swear
I do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Kansas,
and the Constitution of the State of Kansas,
and faithfully, to the best of my ability,
and faithfully, to the best of my ability,
discharge the duties of council member,
discharge the duties of council member,
so help me God.
so help me God.
You can sign and give it to me. Oh, there he is.
Ward 2.
Now it's your turn.
All right, here we go. I do solemnly swear
I do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Kansas,
and the Constitution of the State of Kansas,
and faithfully, to the best of my ability,
and faithfully, to the best of my ability,
discharge the duties of council member,
discharge the duties of council member,
so help me God.
so help me God.
You can sign and give it to me afterwards. I do solemnly swear
I do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Kansas,
and the Constitution of the State of Kansas,
and faithfully, to the best of my ability,
and faithfully, to the best of my ability,
discharge the duties of council member,
discharge the duties of council member,
so help me God.
so help me God.
You can sign it.
Oh, that's right. You gotta get yours too.
Yep.
4 council members. I don't know, I gotta look. Every 2 years? I think it's 2 years.
All right. I do solemnly swear
I do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Kansas,
and the Constitution of the State of Kansas,
and faithfully, to the best of my ability,
and faithfully, to the best of my ability,
discharge the duties of council member,
discharge the duties of council member,
so help me God.
so help my God.
Okay.
Thank you,
Sign
dear.
it.
There you go. Thank you, sir. Okay. Next item under new business, Item 2, discuss and consider a proposed special use request to allow a single-family residence in the I-1 Light Industrial District on property located at approximately 1/4 mile east of Broadway Avenue and south of 49th Street North, or 601 East 49th Street North. Russ.
Thank you, Mayor. Council members. Planning has 2 agenda items on this evening. The first is a special use permit to allow a single-family residence within the I-1 Light Industrial District. That district does not permit residential uses, which is typical. The owner of the subject property, which is about 3 acres, is the 3rd-generation owner of the property, and he wishes to renovate one of the 3 buildings on the property as a residence. All the land to the south of 49th Street is zoned industrial, and all of the property to the north of the subject property is zoned R1 single-family residential. There was no public input on this case, and the Planning Commission in November recommended approval 4-0, subject to the conditions listed in the staff report. And I'll stand for any questions you may have on this.
Thank you. Any questions of council? Okay, I'd entertain a motion. You'll see the recommendation of the Planning Commission as noted. Charlie.
I do not have any questions. I make a motion, we approve the special use as presented.
Can you go ahead and approve the ordinance, please?
Oh, yes, I see. A move to approve the ordinance 1227-2025, and an ordinance approving special use to allow a single-family residence in the I-1 Light Industrial District on certain property located in the city of Park City, Kansas, under the authority granted by the zoning regulations of the city.
You good? Thank you. And Jim.
I'll second that.
Okay, this will be a roll call vote.
Charles Schwenke,
Aye.
Charlie Davidson,
Aye.
Jim Schrader,
Aye.
Terry Osborne,
Aye.
Troy Hill,
Aye.
Linda Westhaver,
Aye.
John Wells.
Aye.
Motion passes 7-0. Thank you. On to item 3, discuss and consider proposed amendments to the zoning regulations with regard to signs.
Thank you, Mayor, council members. This is a text amendment to the zoning regulations that are proposed to allow larger wall signs on buildings dependent on their zoning classification. This would apply to all properties and projects within the E1 entertainment district, as well as the 2 industrial districts within the city. This amendment would propose to have a sliding scale of the size of wall signs, which are currently capped at 300 square feet, to be a percentage of a building's elevation. The impetus for this text amendment and the best example of it is the newly opened Gillies Casino at 77th and Hydraulic, where we have a super large structure set back on a very large lot. The sign package, at least in my opinion, was appropriate for the development. However, we did have the issue with the sign code precluding approximately half of that sign package. So in anticipation of not only Gillies opening, but also the Crosswinds Hotel and whatever future holds for the arena, as well as Champtown development for that matter, we feel that this text amendment to allow certain flexibility in the sign code would be appropriate for those types of uses. And I'll stand for any questions. My apologies, Planning Commission recommended these amendments 4-0 as well.
Thank you. Council, any discussion on this item, or do I have a motion? Jim.
I honestly don't have any questions on it, noting the planning commission's recommendations and the need for it to keep up and adopt and adjust with what's going on in our city. So I would make a motion to approve the amendments as presented in ordinance 1228-2025.
Thank you, Jim. Terry?
Second.
Okay.
Thank you.
Anything further? Okay. Council, this will also be a roll call vote. Ms. Burke?
Charles Schwanke,
Aye.
Charlie Davidson,
Aye.
Jim Schrader,
Aye.
Terry Osborne,
Aye.
Troy Hill,
Aye.
Linda Westhaver,
Aye.
John Wells.
Aye.
Motion passes 7-0. Item 4 was scratched. We're at item 4A, discuss and consider a resolution authorizing the offering for sale of the City of Park City, Kansas Sales Tax Special Obligation Revenue Bond Anticipation Bonds for the Champtown Star Bond Project. Garth?
Good evening. Mike Baldwin with Jefferies, the underwriter, working on the Champtown financing. Prior to scheduling this trip, I actually thought I was going to be delivering some good news and having the results of the sale. But however, we released the offering document the day before Thanksgiving and then kind of ran into a buzzsaw of high yield issuance in the market for the 3 weeks of December, over $3 billion. And, you know, what we do in the muni market, it's like you have like 3 weeks and then pretty much the market kind of shuts down this Thursday and then for like the remaining of the month there. And what we kind of experienced is not only the analysts that we kind of market to, quite frankly, didn't really have the time, and actually the accounts that the other deals that they were focusing on were actually higher in yield. And so, make a long story short, some of the investors were just saying no to kind of the credit, but quite honestly, I don't think they gave it the time and diligence that it needed. And quite also is they were kind of, in terms of the fund flows turned a little bit negative in the high yield space, and several of the funds just quite frankly didn't have any cash. And what we did experience with several of the accounts that were interested, they kind of wanted to see more of a phased in approach in terms of, instead of a larger one-time issuance, maybe multiple phases, multiple financings, probably 3 that are based upon reaching certain development thresholds. So what we want to do tonight is bring back the resolution that kind of allows multiple ban issues, but they're phased, smaller, but will not exceed the original maximum par amount for the 2 financings that you've already approved. So just curious if you had any questions on the market that I can address before we have Garth come up here and talk about the resolution.
Any questions of Mike?
No, I think I track with that.
Sir?
I track with that.
Good evening, Mayor, council members. Garth Herman with Gilmore and Bell, City's Bond Counsel. Thank you for having me tonight. So the item before you and then the related item next on the agenda for 5A. These are the resolutions for City Council action that would basically allow for the procedure that Michael was talking about, where as we're trying to pivot and to make the bonds both for the STAR bonds as well as for the Community Improvement District notes to make them a little bit more marketable. This resolution would allow for that to happen. So what this resolution does is, and this one relates to the STAR bonds, is that instead of authorizing one big STAR bond anticipation bond to be issued, what this provides is that that same amount, that same maximum amount of $90 million can actually be authorized and sold in smaller bites to kind of help with that marketing as Michael was describing. And so you adopted a similar resolution back at the end of October related to the STAR bonds, but that was, once again, that was for the entire, up to $90 million amount in a single issue. So this one is very similar, but it simply changes it to provide that those can actually be split up into smaller chunks, so long as the overall principal amount of all of those smaller issues still does not exceed the maximum amount of $90 million. And with every single one of those smaller financings that gets done, it still has to have interest rates that are within the state law maximum authority to do that. As long as those things occur and the Department of Commerce, just like always, approves the bond issuance, then in that case, then the mayor would have the authority to sign each of the bond purchase agreements as they come up for each of those different financings. The mayor would have the authority to sign that, followed by ratification by the city council at the next subsequent meeting after that sale that occurs, and approval of all of the bond documents at that time. So, as I mentioned, this resolution and then the next one, structurally very similar. The only difference is the first one applies to the STAR. The next one applies to the Community Improvement District. But with that being said, I'll be happy to stop and take any questions that you may have.
Jim?
I was scanning the document here, but what time frame do they go back to the market?
That would be a better question for the investment bankers, but based on my understanding, it probably won't be until early next year.
Yeah, more January, we're hoping to get that done.
Okay.
And I think, we're envisioning probably, June, July, maybe for the second issuance, and then maybe for the third, December or January the following year. But the key is more of a phased-in approach.
Okay.
Yep.
I think that's all I have.
Okay. I'll say in the past trips here discussing this, something to me, I just want to make sure that we aren't changing the city's stretch or liability to this project. And I'd just like to have, for the sake of the council and myself especially, just the assurance that none of those terms have changed, that this doesn't extend the city in any way as far as bond payments or anything.
Yeah, no, you're totally correct, and that's a great question. And what you said is accurate. So this change in kind of the structuring of, instead of having one big one, having smaller ones, that does not put the city on the hook for anything. That really doesn't change the underlying security or the credit of these types of bonds from what it was before. The city is still only required, whether it's the STAR bonds or the Community Improvement District bonds, the city is still only required to make the payments on those bonds from the revenues from within the district to the extent that those revenues are there. And so the city is still under no obligation to use any other public funds to help pay for these bonds or anything like that. And the change in structure to what we're talking about now, that doesn't change any of those underlying facts.
So this is basically done on benchmarks, like we're saying, certain projects are going to get done, then that one pays out. Then that one pays out. Then smaller bites.
That's my understanding, that yes, basically that there will be those benchmarks kind of built into it based on reaching certain milestones and levels of development, that once those benchmarks are reached, then that would allow the next set to be sold and marketed.
Okay. Okay. Any questions of council? Troy?
If nobody's got any questions, I would move to approve Resolution 1273-2025, a resolution authorizing the offering for sale of the city of Park City, Kansas, sales tax specials, obligation, revenue bonds, anticipation notes, Champtown Star Bond project.
Jim?
I'd second that.
Any further discussion on this item? Okay, I just have a question for you, Garth. A while ago, you were talking about this one applies to the Star Bond project.
Yes.
And what does the other one apply to?
So after this resolution, then the next resolution will apply to the Community Improvement District bond anticipation notes.
All right, just want to get that in my notes. Thank you. Okay, motion by Troy, seconded by Jim. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Item 5 was scratched. Item 5A.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Same sort of thing here. As I mentioned, the same structure that we had talked about with the STAR That's also being put in place for the Community Improvement District nodes here. This resolution does the same thing as the prior resolution. It allows for them to be broken up into smaller pieces. There still will be those benchmarks put in place.
Thank you. Okay, item 5A, is there any questions or comments or a motion? Jim?
I don't have any questions on that after the previous discussion here that ties across to this. So I would move to approve Resolution 1274-2025.
Okay, Terry?
Second.
All right, I have a motion by Jim, second by Terry. Is there any further discussion or comments? Okay, call the vote. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passes 7-0.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you. Thank you for coming tonight. Right. Item 6, consider ordinance amending section 2-115 of the municipal code relating to animals running at large and other unlawful acts. Doug?
Mayor and council, this is a simple amendment to a quite long ordinance. As the staff summary sheet indicates, there is an error in a reference in the penalty section of this ordinance, which, for your information, appears, the one tiny change in this big ordinance appears on the very last page at the top. And there's a reference there to section 2-130. That's an erroneous reference for the penalty section for people who violate the provisions of this ordinance. It should read 2-129, and that's what this amendment does, and so I would recommend that council adopt this amending ordinance.
Thank you, Doug. Charlie?
I move to approve ordinance 1231-2025.
Thank you. Troy?
Second.
Any further discussions or comments on this item? Motion by Charlie, seconded by Troy.
This
This
is
will be a
roll
roll
call.
call vote.
Yes.
Took the words out of my mouth. Thank you. Go for it.
Charlie Davidson,
Aye.
Terry Osborne,
Aye.
Troy Hill,
Aye.
John Wells,
Aye.
Charles Schwenke,
Aye.
Jim Schrader,
Aye.
Linda Westhaver.
Aye.
That motion passes 7-0. On to item 7. Ms. Clerk, do you want to read that one, or you want me to do it? Okay, I'll do it. Discuss and consider authorizing a contract for the purchase of a drone for the police department. Chief?
Mr. Mayor, council members, the police department is requesting approval to purchase a Skydio X10 patrol drone system, along with the associated software, support services, and cloud data storage. This equipment will significantly enhance our ability to respond to critical incidents, improve officer and public safety, and modernize our investigative and operational capabilities. A companion document's included with the agenda outlining several recent, fairly recent incidents that occurred in Park City where a drone would have been valuable, as well as situations where we relied on drones from surrounding agencies. The police drone systems have become, over time, an essential tool for public safety agencies across the country. They provide rapid aerial situational awareness, reduce risk to responders, and improve effectiveness in incidents such as search and rescue operations, missing or endangered persons, fleeing suspects, or outstanding warrants, tactical or high-risk calls, hazardous situations such as fires, and storm management assessment. Our police department has increasingly encountered situations where a drone would have significantly improved our ability to manage an incident safely and efficiently. In several cases, Park City has depended on other agencies to deploy a drone in our city. While these agencies have been helpful and we appreciate their help, their availability is not guaranteed, especially during high priority events or in severe weather. The Park City operated drone ensures immediate access to this capability when it is most needed. The FAA requires law enforcement drone pilots to be licensed, and the police department currently has 5 officers who are licensed and trained. During the past 2 legislative sessions, the Kansas legislature enacted laws that prohibited state and local agencies from purchasing or operating drones manufactured by what are defined as, or manufactured in companies defined as adversarial nations, including China, which knocked an awfully lot of the manufacturers out of the market. A similar federal ban is set to go into effect later this month. These restrictions sharply limit the number of vendors that are legally eligible for government use in Kansas. As a result, only a small group of U.S.-based or U.S.-manufactured drones remain that are authorized. Skydio is one of the leading American manufacturers meeting these requirements. Skydio drones are used extensively by law enforcement agencies nationwide, and they're the primary drone systems used locally by the Wichita Police Department and the Sedgwick County Sheriff's Office. Selecting the same platform as our partner agencies would improve our interoperability, joint training, and coordinated response. It also gives us some confidence because we have the advice of their experience, what they've already experienced using this particular company. We did obtain one other quote from probably one of the major competitors to Skydio. It was significantly more expensive. I would say it's at least double what this was. The reason for selecting Skydio is after reviewing the U.S. authorized manufacturers, we come down to what is allowed that's made in the U.S. They're fully made in the U.S. At Skydio. They're proven. They're used. Oklahoma City has quite a few Skydio drones. They are able to be deployed rapidly by the officers in the field. Skip ahead here. The proposed contract, it's a 5-year contract and includes the following items. One is the drone itself, basically the hardware, the controller and so forth. The software package, secondly. Thirdly, the Skydio Care program. So if I could just give you a little bit of detail on that, because I think it's pretty important to understand what they're offering and the price as well. But it provides total coverage for 1 total drone loss per year for the first 3 years. So we could essentially lose or destroy a drone every year for 3 years. Not that we intend to do that, of course, but there would be a small, kind of like a deductible, if you will, if it was an insurance policy. Skydio's one of their benefits or one of their capabilities is they're very difficult to crash. So they have object avoidance that's pretty advanced, but I don't believe anything's totally uncrashable. Let's put it that way. So it also includes, after year 3, they refresh. In other words, they would give us another drone. I say give it to us, but it would be included in the price. They would give us another drone after year 3, but we would be able to keep the first one. That keeps us in a position where we're not continuously having to come back after something's obsolete, say 5 years, 6 years down the road, where we are now, essentially, and then have to do the whole thing over again. Finally, it includes the data storage. The fiscal impact of this, the total cost is $78,712. That's a 5-year contract. The police department's budget for next year already includes $35,000 that's designated for the purchase of a drone. Skydio advised that this is the reason why I'm coming to you this month. They're advising that the price is expected to substantially increase. They're saying 35 to 60%, depends on which portion of the contract that you're looking at. But they said the pricing has been artificially suppressed for the last couple of years, so they're expecting a big price correction. That may have something to do with the ban that's going into effect as well. By locking in the pricing now, we would avoid that price increase. Staff recommends the following funding approach. That would be applying the $35,000 from the current 2025 police budget, which we have a surplus, mostly due to staffing shortage over the last year. The remaining 4 annual payments would be $10,928 each, beginning in 2026, which would come out of the amount of money that's budgeted for next year for a drone. And then the remaining 3 payments would be put in future budgets. The contract includes a non-appropriation clause, so future councils would have the ability, of course, to not do that if they chose or if the funding was not available. So staff recommends authorizing the mayor to execute the contract with Skydio for a 5-year term at a cost of $78,712. On the screen here, it's not in your packet, but on the screen there's a kind of a summary that shows up there with some of the features of the drone. I wanted you to at least have a picture of it to see what it looks like. But I'll be glad to answer any questions if you have any questions.
Thank you, Charlie.
Chief, 2 questions. Number 1, have we not had any drones prior to this? I thought we did.
We purchased a drone, it's probably been about 7 years ago.
Oh, it's been that long, okay.
It was a DJI drone. The batteries don't even keep a charge right now, so it's.
It's not even usable?
No, sir.
Okay,
We
and,
don't.
I'm sorry, go ahead, I'm sorry.
We don't use it.
Okay. My second question is, this is a 5-year contract, if you will, and the way I understand it, after the 5 years, we'll actually own 2 drones, is that right?
Yes, sir, that's correct.
So if we want to continue after that 5 years, my assumption is that that would be dramatically less for the future contracts?
It would depend on how we structure the contract, so.
Okay.
If we only wanted to re-up the software, then it would be substantially less.
Okay.
If we wanted to continue with the, I forget what they call it, but the replacement program,
Okay.
then it would be substantially more.
Okay, I see. Thank you.
Jim.
Thank you, Charlie. You asked one of my questions. The other thing I was just curious about is, what's the physical size of these, and and then that leads into, what's their ability to fly in certain weather conditions? In particular, the wind in Kansas.
Right, that's one of the advantages with Skydios. They're pretty wind resistant. No drone is able to fly in, say, 60-mile-an-hour wind, especially when you have wind gusts. I don't have an exact number for you, but I know from talking with other operators, for instance, from the sheriff's office, who have used them in the field extensively, like a 30-mile-an-hour sustained wind would not be a problem. They can fly in rain, but again, if it's a torrential rain, you wouldn't want to do that because your ability to see with the camera would even be impaired. So, but a light rain or a mist would not be a problem. It can fly at night because it does have a thermal camera and it has object avoidance, so it can be flown in total darkness, which the thermal camera is actually one of the, well, it is the biggest increase in capability that we're looking for. The drone we had before did not have that. We were right at that point where that technology was beginning to become affordable. We didn't buy that, and that really limited our ability to use it. Hope that answered your question.
A little bit bigger than a pizza box, like a large
I would,
pizza box.
yeah, about a pizza box. Okay, because so officers can keep these in their patrol vehicles, and it's
Yes, it comes and it folds up into a case.
Okay.
if you will.
Thank you.
Sure.
Linda, oh, I'm sorry, Charles.
Will they, I think we have some trained pilots, I guess you would call them, right now. I think you're one of them, aren't you?
I'm not.
You're not?
no.
Will they train pilots for those things and accredit them?
They won't provide the training to become a pilot. But
Yeah.
we already have 5 people who have. One is one of our reserve officers who's done the training on his own. He has a pilot's license for an aircraft too, but the others are officers that we've already sent to drone pilot training.
Okay.
They will provide training on this system, but not the pilot training, the FAA requirement.
Does anybody else have any questions?
I do, a couple. So I guess my expectation of spending this much money, I'd like to see, just to make sure that we have drone operators like 24/7. So will we need to include more training for folks to be able to accomplish that?
I would like to see us extend this to where we could have upwards, maybe 6 to 7 pilots. See, we're a department right now of 21 positions, so I think having 5 is pretty good, considering our size, where they're spread out over different shifts and live in different areas, including here in town.
Yeah, we're tracking exactly. That's exactly what I was thinking, just to make sure that it's available all the time. I just hate to have an asset that expensive that we didn't have a pilot or something like that. But no, I read through I appreciate the supporting information you had, and I was just very impressed with a 40-second deployment, has a 40-minute battery, flies 45 miles per hour. Quite impressive. And I'll tell you, I just got back from a conference where, man, drone technology in policing it's the way of the future. It is quite impressive. And if you look, one of them, Albuquerque PD, is actually leading the way right now in drones, and they actually have programs where they have all over town. They have what they call hives. The drones are just sitting in all around town, and when a police call comes in, the drone comes out of the hive and goes to the call and hovers until an officer gets there. And they can already see what's all around, and then it just goes right back to the hive and lands right back inside of it and charges back up. It is quite impressive. Wow. Just to see what the way of the future is and this stuff. So much enhances safety of officers, but also enhances public safety. So I think that's phenomenal. I appreciate you bringing this forward. So if I have a motion, we'll go for it. Charles?
Okay, I move to approve and authorize the mayor to execute a contract with Skydio for 5-year term in the amount of $78,712 to be paid from the police department budget.
Very good. Charlie?
Second.
All right. Unless anybody else has any comments? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion passes 7-0. Item 8, discuss and consider a contract with Level Up Retail Services for the installation of the fitness court. Thank you, Chief.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Late in 2024, Council approved the purchase of the National Fitness Court to be installed in Park Center. The concrete pad has been installed per the specifications required and is now ready to receive the apparatuses. Staff reached out to 2 approved vendors/installers recommended by the National Fitness Campaign, and actually we also reached out to a local contractor to see if we could get it done less expensive here locally. The quote that we have currently right now is from Level Up Retail Service. It's for a total cost of $28,500. The other national provider from the National Fitness Campaign came in at $30,000, and then oddly enough, the local vendor just had not ever had any experience with this at all. So they were very cautious, and their quote came in at $70,000. They just didn't know what to expect because it is very meticulous on how you put this thing together. And so that's why I think it's the best recommendation to go with somebody that is approved by the National Fitness Campaign. It is of note, unfortunately, we're in the wintertime here in Kansas. If approved, the court equipment would be installed once weather permits, which means for the padding, they need 50 degrees or warmer increasing. So we're looking at more than likely a springtime. But we want to get the contract put in place now so that we can get on their schedule somewhere probably around March time period, is our hope.
Fantastic.
As far as the fiscal impact, earlier this year, staff solicited 4 sponsorships for the National Fitness Campaign and the court itself. We went out to all the various different businesses and asked for their sponsorship, and there were 4 businesses that committed $5,000 apiece. Their logo will appear on the actual fitness court wall. So $20,000 of the $28,500 required is already factored in. The remaining balance is to be paid out of the general fund through the Parks Department. And I'll stand for any questions.
Any questions from council? Terry?
No questions here, if there are no other questions, but I move to approve the quote from Level Up Retail Services in the amount of $28,500 to be paid out of the general fund
Parks Department.
Troy.
Second.
All right. Any further questions or discussion about this item? All right. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. The motion passes 7-0. Next to governing body reports. I'll start with John tonight.
I would like to thank everybody that voted for me and put their trust in me. I hope to do a good job and live up to their expectations. And I'd especially like to thank the mayor, the city administrator, and my fellow council members, especially Mr. Glover, for being very supportive and helping me feel like I am very prepared to take this position on. I appreciate it all.
Very good. Well, welcome.
Thank you.
Charles.
Yeah, just congrats to George, and maybe he's watching online, but appreciate his dedication. We couldn't have got to where we're at today without those council members that worked in the past. So appreciate his hard work and his dedication. Welcome to John. Look forward to sitting next to you for the next several years. And Merry Christmas to everyone.
Linda.
I got nothing good. Welcome, John. Glad to see you on this side of the desk over here for a change. So, happy holidays to all. It's all I got.
Charles.
Yeah, welcome, John. And I don't know if George is still here, but I got to know George just shortly after I got on the council, and spent quite a bit of time with him working on that fishing program. George is dedicated. He was one of probably the most dedicated people I think I've ever seen. And I hate to see him go, but he is retired and he's going to do more fishing.
Very good. Terry?
Similar comments. John, welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah. You too, John.
Been here all along, but okay.
Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays to everyone.
Pretty much the same thing. Welcome. Went to the opening of Gillies. That was pretty cool. I actually won a little bit of money. Not to, at least I didn't. My wife did. I lost all my money. It's usually the way it goes. I want to say Merry Christmas to everybody, and we'll see you next year.
Very good. Jim.
Welcome, John, and congratulations to the whole other side of the bench on your reelection. The whole other side.
Yeah, right.
So, George's a good guy. We'll miss him, and he really spent a lot of time and was passionate about this, and I always appreciated that about him. So, Merry Christmas, everybody, and I guess see you next year.
Good. I'll speak a little bit on, of course, Gillies. We're there yesterday, quite a turnout, pretty exciting times for Park City, and I understand they're going to break ground very soon on a hotel. So more excitement to come in the near future, and a couple restaurants maybe. So next thing, welcome to John. Glad to have you step up, serve the community. And then next, I would say the water systems event that occurred, I'll call it an event, that occurred in the last couple weeks. I want to say thank you to staff for your diligent efforts in getting services restored. I know that was quite a failure, but thank you guys for getting that knocked out and getting citizens back up to water services. That's all I have. That's all I have. Wish Merry Christmas to everybody. Happy New Year. With that, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn. Charlie.
I move we adjourn.
Terry.
Second.
Motion by Charlie, seconded by Terry. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes 7-0.
You need to oppose one time. We'll still pass.